Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Liev. I'm a photographer and videographer from Hamburg, and today we're going to talk about my most favorite two film photo stocks in black and white film photography.
Yeah, I make decisions to glow. Ridiculous flow, potential to glow. You know, I just do that. Consolidate my regions, line it up, put them together. Anyone that ever let me down, forget them forever. My memory's bad. Remember me, thumb? My memory's gone. My memory, it limits me home. No tree huggers, cause all the lumber's gone. Niggas knocking on wood. Pass through the hood when it's good and they chopping up wood.
Alright, now let's dive right in. Wait a sec. Give me a little bit of light from the side. Alright. Better. Today we're talking about two of my most favorite film photo stocks in black and white photography. It's the Rollei Superpan 200 and the RPX 400. I shot both of them in 35mm and in medium format. I prefer medium format overall, but nevertheless they are some of the most amazing, forgiving, exquisite looking film photo stocks I have ever used. And today we're gonna dive into my photo archive and see what it looks like and why I love it so much. Now overall, I think why I love these films so much is because I have this certain image in my head of what black and white film photography looks like. For me, it's not these crisp blacks and crisp whites in the picture. It's more of this even grayscale. And I think of film photos, especially in black and white, with the grain that has a very haptic feel to it. Did you say that in English? I don't know. And I think some photographers do it really well. I'll show some examples right here of what I mean. And this is the kind of image in my head when I think of black and white photography and what I strive for and what I look in when I'm shooting black and white film photography. Now, if you're just starting out with film photography, here's a warning from me to you. Please keep good order and a good system of your archives. Now, I just spent around an hour looking for the films I shot a few years ago and throughout up until now to find some examples to show you, and it was a pain in the ass. So keep good care of your archives and let's dive right in. So with these pictures, I actually shot them I think 1 month ago, and we're currently in winter, in full winter mode in Hamburg. So that means we have approximately 1 hour of usable light for photography a day. Yay! Winter depression. Well, anyways, I think even though it's a 200 ISO speed film, it still is not very likely to drown. I think we call it in German. It's like when you underexpose an image. So I think the highlights of the film are quite sensitive, but are not capping, and so you can really get these dark, moody pictures without having the risk of losing your image to being underexposed and not usable. But even this was a situation in which I felt that I was testing the film a little bit, but I really love the texture of it. And this is 35mm, so you can definitely see that there's some limit to the grain in which details will disappear. I mean, it's bound to happen since it has such prominent grain, but I think overall you get this really nice texture, especially for the skin. It looks very smooth, but still, you know, lively, and it makes everything just so much more beautiful. And that is, I think, something that you cannot just recreate by putting on a grain Lightroom filter. It's something that actually comes out of the chemicals that you're using. Yeah, and once again, I just love the moody kind of feel to it, because I think normally I'm a person who likes to overexpose their film by at least 1 or 2 stops. I really like the aesthetic when the shadows are pulled up and, you know, the overall image looks bright, fun, and inviting, and open, and really nice. And especially for me, shooting a moody scene, yeah, it takes some getting used to. So I think this film is the perfect opportunity for me to search for kind of these more melancholic kind of pictures and to go a little bit of a different route, which is always nice. Alright, so this is a film that I shot a couple years ago in Finland. We were at the Polar Circle, and I just wanted to show you like what kind of the differences are when you're shooting 35mm and medium format film. And I still think that the overall grayscales is so beautiful, and you can also see it like here in the landscapes. The details are still preserved and not just washed away by the prominent grain. And I really love the overall image aesthetic of the Superpan 200 on medium format film. Yeah, so this is a film that's also kind of old. I think it's I think 3 years ago or something, when I was still studying, and we had this studio, photo studio in the university, and I decided to, I think it was the beginning when I first started shooting medium format film. Was shot on the Kiev 60, which is kind of a big kind of camera that looks like a 35mm film camera on steroids. Yeah, it was fun, and I just wanted to show you what it looks like when you use it in kind of more of a studio setting, and it's portrait shots on medium format film. What I also wanted to point out is just how beautiful the skin looks on every single one of these pictures. I mean, these people are not miracles made by God. They are everyday normal people, and but their skin just comes out looking immaculate. So I think that's one of the beautiful things about film photography, is that your pictures come out looking really great because of the colors and kind of the smoothing effect that grain has on skin. And I mean, I didn't do anything to the skin in these pictures, no post-processing whatsoever. So I think that's a really nice effect you get from shooting this kind of film stock on medium format. Now let's talk about the RPX 400. I think this is a very kind of unique film. It has a little bit more contrast to it, and I think the highlights are a little bit more sensitive. Overall, the image looks also kind of melancholic, but not as moody as the Superpan 200. I think it has a very different kind of vibe to it, but I nevertheless still think this is an amazing option to go for more of a contrasty film. If you don't want to go for the Kodak 3X or kind of other Kodak high-end black and white films, I think the Ilford comes more close to this one actually, but as you might hear, I'm not a very big fan of the Kodak high-end black and white films, because I think they kind of are too contrasty, and the blacks are a little bit too harsh. So I really think this is the way to go, at least for me. I really love the aesthetic, and I say aesthetic way too much. So to keep it short and simple, I think these are two of the best black and white film photo stocks that you can get. I think the Superpan 200 is amazing if you want to create moody kind of shots that have this very textured feel and are a little bit more in the grayscale area and not very black and harsh black and whites. The RPX is the way to go if you want to go for contrast. Now I think that Ilford does some amazing films as well, especially on large format. That shit looks amazing. But nevertheless, I think it's good to switch it up, use some film photo stocks that you haven't used before, and just see where it gets you. Maybe it'll surprise you, just like me. So until next time, see you guys. Let me know what you think of this video. Keep me updated, comment, like, subscribe, whatever. Yeah, see you next time. До свидания.